Hey, Grey Main Stolas here. We're just discussing in Discord, how to switch gears and your loadout as a healer versus a DPS. So I just wanted to show real quick. Here is my Templar healer, and you see from the orbs, he's in heal mode right now. Those are come with some of the gear sets that you can get as a healer. So you'll notice on my gear loadout, he's got a monster set called Chokethorn, which is a healer set. Running Worm Cult, which is again a healer set, and Sanctuary. So those are my gear sets for when I'm healing. And you'll notice my skills are different, right? So I'm running a Sanctuary staff on my front bar, which is a healing staff, and I'm running several um, skills from the Restoration staff line, right? So some of these are really good. So Radiating Regeneration is nice. It's a heal over time. Combat Prayers, and what we're talking about, is super important because it gives Yuzik as a buff to everyone who's in the cone. So you want to kind of stand behind the DPS, and when you blast this down, it heals them and it gives them a nice buff. Healing Springs is, see, I'm running mostly Resto staff skills. Healing Springs is a circle that heals everybody in it. So if everybody's packed together, it's a nice heal. Breath of Life is my Oh Dear, right? So it's an 8,000 point heal, and then it gets buffed by other champion points and things of that nature. Energy Orb comes from the who's it called? Undaunted, I think. Yeah, it comes from Undaunted, wherever that is. Again, restores resources, etc. And then I don't know why I have Solar Prison as my ultimate there, but I'd probably put something else if I needed it. So that's kind of a basic healer loadout. And then on the back bar, there's more support stuff, right? So I can use my Blazing Spear to add damage. It also helps the tank restore resources when I drop this close to the tank, so that's an important one, and the DPS as well. We were talking about this, right? This Blockade of Storms. Because I have a Lightning Staff on my back bar, this is actually a damage skill, but it sets enemies off balance. So that's really important. It allows the DPS to do more damage. It's normally considered one of the healer's responsibilities. Elemental Drain gives major breach, so that actually allows us to do more damage. So particularly on a boss, you'd want to keep that down, or keep that on, on the boss. Channel Focus creates a rune that allows you to restore resources, and then this is just a DPS skill, Radiant Depression, that helps, at the very last stage of the boss. It's a great execute. Here's that Warhorn that we're talking about. It comes from the PvP skills here in Alliance War. I think you get it at level 4 in Assault. And again, this just buffs your team, allows them to do more damage for 30 seconds. So again, so the healer's role is not only kind of keeping folks alive, but having a lot of skills. As you get more and more skills in your arsenal, you're able to debuff bosses and contribute to DPS and buff your entire group. So then I have DressingRoom installed, and I have it hotkeyed to kind of Control D. You can hotkey it to anything you want. But notice, so here I have my healer loadout. So it's the skills, and up here you see all the gear that's on it. If you hover over it, it tells you. You can see I got my Sanctuary stuff and my Worm Cult. This is not really effective when you're out questing in the world. So when I'm out questing, I just pretend I'm a DPS, right? And for the most part, things work pretty well. So by clicking this button and then switching my bars and clicking this, DressingRoom has changed my gear and all my skills. So now when I stand up, you'll see my skills have changed on the back bar and on the front bar. So these now look like more of the DPS skills: Purifying Light, Puncturing Sweep, etc. And then on the back bar, similar but a little bit different skills. I still use Blazing Spear and I still use a Blockade of Fire for DPS. You notice the ultimates changed as well. So DressingRoom did all that for me. When you look at the gear, you see I'm now wearing Grothar, which is a monster set, and I'm now wearing Julianos and Mother Sorrow, which are more DPS oriented. So again, very easy to kind of switch back and forth between roles. You used to not have to do this. For some reason, in recent releases, you've had to do it, but you now have to switch bars and click these individually to load out. But you can do that, frankly, at any time. You could do that between fights in a dungeon. You can do it before you go into dungeon, or change to a DPS role when you go out into the world. So that's the quick overview of kind of a simple healer DPS loadout and using DressingRoom. Hit me up on Discord if you have any questions.